Step 5 says, building your business by leading with the Vima business opportunity. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a rowboat, just by yourself or maybe with a friend, and you're kind of going along on a lake somewhere, and all of a sudden you decide to take one oar out of the water and you're just going to row with one oar? Well, have you ever noticed what happens? Your boat's going to go in circles. The reason I'm kind of painting that picture for you is the combination of step 4, leading with the product, and step 5, leading with the opportunity. It's critical that both of those oars, so to speak, are in your boat. You're using them both at the same time. Well, you're going to start off, obviously, in this process of learning these kind of in a rowboat, kind of slow. But I guarantee you with coaching and with practice, folks, we're going to move you up to what we call a high-speed boat. But in the beginning, I want you to get as good with leading with the business as you'll be with leading with the product. So here's the goal. I want you to become capable. I want you to become confident in this process. Now, here perhaps is the pushback. You're brand new. You're saying, Tom, I don't have a check. I'm just getting underway. I'm excited about the product. I'm excited about the opportunity, but I don't have any confidence in this process of leading with the opportunity. Well, remember this again, folks. It's a sorting process. People are interested in doing better financially. They're interested in getting out of debt. They're interested in saving for retirement. It's not about where you are in the business. It's about where you're going. And here's the thing I want you to remember. You're going to have the leverage and the support of your upline team in the process of building your business by leading with the opportunity. What do I mean by that? There's going to be three-way calls. There's going to be home events that are going to be supported. There are going to be area events. There are going to be two-on-one situations, Skype calls, opportunities where you can learn to tell the story with someone from your upline team that's going to help you in the process and provide credibility. So the phrase we like to use is that you're in a business of your own, but you're not in business alone. Now, with that being said, what do you need to know in building the business by leading with the product? Well, you only need to know two things. You need to recognize that there's immediate income and long-term income. Now, do you have to become a master at the compensation plan? Absolutely not. All you have to know is that immediate income comes in the form of the fast start bonus and the frenzy bonus. Long-term income comes in the form of the cycle bonus, the momentum bonus, the matching bonus. That's all you have to be aware of. And so the fact that you don't even know the details is not important. So what do you need to have? Again, just like leading with the product, you've got to have tools on hand. Folks, there are DVDs that are available, a short company overview DVD as well as a compensation plan DVD. Those two tools are important to have on hand for a home event or a small group presentation. The perfect business brochure, the body brochure, the other support materials that are available at myroadmaptosuccess.com, as well as the vimatoolsstore.com. All of those are important to have on hand to be ready for your meeting. Not only do you need to have tools, guess what? You got to show up for work. Now, showing up for work simply means you've got to get into action. We're going to talk about that in our next step called goal setting in just a few minutes. But not only do you need to have tools, you need to have consistent exposure going on. So are you equipped? Do you have the tools on hand, the DVDs, the brochures to provide information and to provide credibility? So having all these things in place, having them ready, let's talk about what you need to say. Now, just like we talked about in leading with the product, we want you to be needs aware. Listening and focused on the financial needs of the person that you're thinking about, the person that you're going to talk to. You want to become a great listener, listening to people every single day, not only with respect to what they say about their health, how they feel, but also what they say about financially where they're at. So you might find that as you listen to people, as you get to know them better, additional income is going to come into the conversation. They might want to get their kids into private school. They might want to have their wife or their partner stay home with children as opposed to going to work. So what is it that you need to say? Well, the moment you have an opportunity, meaning someone mentions a need for income, it's very simple to follow the script that we've laid out for you in the Roadmap to Success workbook. Here's how it works. Say, for example, you recognize a need for money in a conversation with your friend John, and we'll use him as an example. Hey, John, that's interesting that you said, and you fill in the blank, whatever it is he said. Let me ask you a question. If I could show you how to invest a small amount of money in your family's health every month, and that investment with a little bit of effort could turn into $1,000 to $3,000 a month on a part-time basis, what would you say? Now, typically, John's going to come back and say, well, I'm not sure, Tom. Depends on what it is. What are you talking about? Now, my response would be, well, Bethany and I, my wife and I, we own our own business. And I pause right there. And typically when I pause, he will say, well, what do you do, or what kind of business? And I would then respond, well, we're in a business that teaches people how to create additional income. We teach people how to create additional cash flow. He may say, well, how do you do that? And I said, well, it's all based on the person. Some people are interested in as little as $500 a month. Some people are looking for $2,000 to $3,000 a month. It's all based on that individual. He may go on and say, well, how do you do that? And folks, that's the place where the product comes into play, where we say we do that through an amazing nutritional discovery called Vima, or a healthy energy solution called Verve, or a body transformation program called Body. And John, I got to tell you something, man. You would not believe how great this tastes. And of course, immediately at that point, based on whatever product you choose or you're working with, you take it out, open it up, allow them to taste it. Put the focus on the taste, put the focus on that product specifically in terms of what it can do financially in their life. At that point in the conversation, I would suggest that you do the following. I'd say, John, I want to give you this DVD. It's a short 5 to 6 minute segment that'll give you an overview of the concept that I'm talking about. And if you can, I'd like you to promise me to watch it in the next 24 hours. In other words, putting value on it as you place it in his hands is so incredibly important. Now, you've not only, of course, allowed them to taste the product, you've placed the tool in his hands, and the process from here simply becomes following up within the next 24 hours. Now, of course, folks, the option is here. If you don't have the tool, you can aim people to the same video link. You could send it to them via email and allow them to review that on an email basis. Of course, obviously, that's how we would do it with people at a distance, meaning allow them to see that short overview of the concept of what we're doing. So following up the next day, the moment you follow up on the telephone, I'll always ask a present positive question like, John, hey, tell me, what did you like about the message that you saw last night? Once you begin to have that dialogue, that's where your support comes into play. So let's review very, very quickly. All you've done is you've recognized the need financially, you've opened a conversation, you've allowed them to taste the product if it's obviously someone physically close to you, and you've placed a tool in their hand, a short DVD message, and you're now following up. So now at this point, you're going to reach upline for support and get the help of a successful brand partner in your team. A three-way call with your upline diamond or above, perhaps a home event that you know that's coming up soon, perhaps an area event or an opportunity event that's happening monthly, perhaps our Monday evening opportunity call or a 2-on-1. In other words, you're going to lean upline for help. All you did was open the door. You opened the door, you identified the need, you allowed them to taste the product, place the tool in their hand, and you're now engaging upline for the financial credibility that's there to support you. Now, folks, we know this. If you're plugged in upline, if you're anchored in terms of the help and the support that's there for you in the process, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get results in leading with the opportunity. Now, you may say, Tom, you know what? Sometimes I don't identify financial needs. Well, then I'll refer you to the workbook and look at what we call the third-party approach, where you can actually reach out and ask for someone's help. It works something like this. John, would you help me? You know, most people are always going to respond positively and say, well, of course, if I can. What do you need? I would then say to them, I own my own business. We're expanding very quickly. Do you know anyone interested in adding, say, $1,000 to $3,000 a month on a part-time basis? So in other words, that third-party approach is reaching up for a referral to someone that they may know. And then, folks, you simply follow up with the same steps that are outlined in the workbook, the same steps we've outlined here a moment ago, and guess what? you're going to find that you're going to become successful in the process of leading with the opportunity.